What's up, everybody? It has been 2 weeks since I have been home and truly testing out that fully automatic lawn care that's been going on. This thing looks amazing. So I want to show a few things, then I got to do some work to kind of flush everything back out. And well, hell, let's just get into it. Okay, so one of the first things that happens the second I get home is to take a look and see how many weeds and new crap has grown. So some of the beds have got some weeds growing in them. But if you look at the collar of the lawn, the place where the robo mower doesn't hit, that's grown, you know, maybe 3 inches in, let's call it 12 days, how long it's been. So you can see I get this sort of ring around the collar on the whole thing. So I just hit that with a string trimmer. I'm gonna go through and do that. And then I'm gonna mix up a backpack of glyphosate and go to town on all the stuff that's been growing while gone. Now, a couple things about this which are kind of cool. We'll go to the lower area and we'll look at it for a second. I still haven't fed this lawn. I have to look back, and I'll put a link right here to when I put the green charge out. That is the last time that this lawn has had any fertilizer. It still looks freaking amazing. Check this out. It is thick, it is dark green, it's being cut somewhere around like 1.5 inches, I think is where I have that right now. And I'm probably gonna start bringing it back down again because we're gonna start to get cooler temperatures at night. So that's coming up. Now let's go down and look at what's happening below us. Okay, so check this out behind me. I didn't touch much on this before except for saying that I put some seed out. I didn't really do anything else to it. And this is where it is right now after roughly, let's call it 17 or 18 days. The grass is not full in there. It's not full yet. What has grown is about 3 inches tall, maybe 3.5 inches tall. So I'm actually gonna cut what's there today. Early this morning I came out and put a little more seed down to kind of get into some of the other areas that maybe didn't grow as well as they could have. So it's got a little extra seed in there. And then one of the things that really kind of became very apparent, I tried to get my sprinkler set up in such a way that it could catch everything, but this area right here is probably gonna have to be something else. Now you can kind of see some grass is growing in here, but not a lot. So I might end up kind of changing my plan here and just letting this be an edge, and maybe that ends up being like gravel or bark or something out. So let's look at the green. The green did get mowed. I had somebody come and cut that so that it didn't get completely out of hand. It looks like it hasn't been done in a couple of days, so it's a little shaggy, but it is looking great after the sanding. Here's what's left of the trough with everything growing in through it right now. You can see it. There's not much left. So if you look at this, how it was before and how much sand I loaded in here, we're getting down to the very end. So it's almost over and filled in back to where I would just normally have the collar cut anyway. It only has about another foot or so to fill back in that direction before it's on its regular shape. But even the grass around here has grown, you know, 2.5, 3 inches all the way on the collar. So again, I gotta get the string trimmer out and I gotta cut all this down. But the color, everything about the green is looking awesome. It's thick. I'm probably gonna need to do some feeding on it. Something low level, I'm guessing. I'm probably gonna do something like another dose of 402 and let that be that. And then, I mean, it's been long enough. I should probably feed the main lawn as well, but I might hold on just a little bit longer. So this is coming in the way it's supposed to. It's looking good. We're gonna cut that today. We're gonna cut all the collars on everything. Spray out stuff that's growing in the rock walls, in the flower beds, everything that's down the rocks here that grew in while I was gone, and start getting this place cleaned up because there's a big day coming. Before I get into this, I want to just say one other thing. There is a very special 25K giveaway that's coming up. I will have more details on that within the next 7 days. There will be a special guest here, and I'm going to tell you that what I'm giving away, there isn't another one like it in the world, and you're going to want to be a part of this. So in order to do it, we're going to do the same rules. Make sure you're subscribed, we'll end up doing a live feed. I'm gonna have a video that I'll have you guys commenting on, and it's going to be very, very, very special, okay? And I know most of you are used to my sarcasm. This is not that. It's something very unique, and you're gonna love it, okay? So make sure you're subscribed. You're gonna wanna be a part of it. That's the good stuff right there. Okay, that's just this part. Got through this. Cut my shapes in around the rocks. Always looks good when you can show that definition. So that's how I've actually just been cutting the collar for the last while, is running a string trimmer around it, as I've gotten pretty good at kind of keeping that thing at an angle and cutting it short and sort of beveling it out so I get a nice clean line around where the collar is for the green. So I actually think I'm going to go ahead and run it through here too, and just do it that way and let all the grass lay down on top of the seed. That'll help it germinate. So I'm going to cut this new grass for the first time right now. Out of line, man. Before I swap out that line, I just gotta make a point. Like, look how much better that is. Just doing a nice, clean cut around the edge of the lawn. It's amazing. It's just amazing when you kind of get the outlines on the rocks and everything starts to flesh out. When you get that definition, I think it's just super important. Super important, man. You gotta have good definition, you know what I'm saying? I always feel like if, you know, the engineers and the smart people out there do this kind of thing to make this easier with these, you know, click lock or click quick wind, whatever they call it, systems, that this should be a no-brainer. Like, you know, make sure that anytime it gets fed through, it's just gonna pop out. And it just frickin' doesn't. Well, at least on this Toro. It might be different on some of the other ones, I'm not really sure. But this is what I have, so it's the burden I've chosen to deal with, I suppose. It shouldn't be this difficult. Ah, you son of a bitch. There's like hardly any in there. You know what, Toro? You suck. Okay. Let's lay down some stripes. Booyah. So there's my yield. It's kind of a lot. I'm definitely gonna have to cut this a few more times. It kind of got to the point where it's laying over more than it should. See, I'm getting a little too much laying down. So in the afternoon, I'm gonna come back through and cut it again. There's just too much that it couldn't pick up right now because it was a little too long. So once it dries out, I'll hit it again and get the rest of the cut out of it. You can see I have some of these kind of bigger blades here, which I don't necessarily care for. You can see them better maybe right here. But that's something that I can control a little bit more with some PGRs and stuff. So overall, again, green, thick as thieves, color's amazing. It's looking really good. I'm just gonna have to catch up on the cuts. I figure I can get it back down to where it usually is. And I had the mower set pretty low, but not all the way because it was bogging down. So I will mow this again this afternoon and maybe again this evening. Okay, since the mowing is done, well, that was actually mowing. That was not really mowing. That was being mowed by itself. So I had a little bit of everything. I'm gonna go ahead and feed the green. I'm gonna do it a little bit different. I'm actually gonna use d-thatch today. So I'm gonna spray that. I'm gonna spray this area here. And I think I might use up the rest of it. There's not a whole lot in this container. I think I have 32 ounces inside this gallon jug. So I'm gonna spray all this out, spray this out, spray that out, and get it down. Now, for those of you who don't use d-thatch, it contains sugars, molasses, humic, fulvic. There's some nitrogen in there, some things like that to yeast to help encourage bacteria to do their job a little bit more, give a little bit more energy, and chew through some of the stuff that could be extra. But it also gives a nice green color to the lawn. So it's going to be a very minimal feeding, and that's all I really want to do out here. And I don't really want to push too much here either. And obviously that doesn't need anything right now. It's just going to get it anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and knock that out with my home-built hose end sprayer here on the top. I love that thing. Has not failed me yet. Oh yeah, I've had a bunch of people borrow it too. It's been great. Let's go ahead and knock that out. I can almost use it like a sprinkler and just set it in one spot and just kind of hose the grass back and forth, but I'll walk with it anyway. Let's kick it back on. Here comes the brown. So easy. What a nice day. Just sit out here, relax, feed the lawn, give a little bit of water, listen to the neighbor jackhammer rock. What are you gonna do? Okay, so that's gonna be all she wrote for today's video. We're gonna be following up back because I've still got a ton of work to do in the beds, plus some construction projects going around here. So again, make sure you're subscribed, be a part of this. I have a very important deadline to be hitting here very soon, and this place has to look flawless. And I don't really have that far to go, but I do have some work to do. Join in. I'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.